3 losses, and they'd be very pleased with where they are.
Yeah, it was a big flex, I think, over their crosstown rival, the Thunder. They were both up there. They were the form teams, highly regarded, the 2 favourites for the competition, and the Sixers just went, no, you're not quite ready just yet. The amazing thing with the Sixers are the players that come back in with the test match final, the team finally selected. In comes Moses Enriques, available for them. They have Sean Abbott, the second leading wicket taker in the Big Bash of all time. He gets to come back in, and you don't reckon there's 2 hungrier all-round cricketers that are just dying to play some matches. They've been stuck in the nets. They've been following that test team around for 4 tests. 2 months now, they've played no cricket. They are bursting at the seams. They come into that lineup. I don't know how they're going to fit it all in, because the players in there are doing such a good job. As you said, they're clear on top and looking the business. And, they are clear favourites at the moment. And then it comes down to who gets their mojo in these last 4 or 5 games, depending on how many are left. Sixers have played 10. They've got 4 left. We're talking about the Stars and the Scorchers, who have 5 left. So there's still some catching up to do, and there's still some form to play out leading up into that final series.
Were the Sixers aided by the brief rain delay in that game? The fact they had to chase down the total in a reduced total in a shorter time span, or was it much of a muchness, I guess?
No, I think it always favours that second team. I really don't think Duckworth Lewis has nailed T20 cricket in weather and gets it a challenging enough chase. I think it's a little generous for the team batting second, and that's why the strikers who have won the toss here at the MCG tonight, they've elected to bat second, because I reckon there's advantage in knowing lesser overs. You still have the full resources of your batting. So lesser overs means you're not going to use them all. You're not going to get bowled out in 14 overs or 12 overs, whatever the result might be restricted down to or reduced down to. So I think it certainly favours the team batting second. A little advantage there.
The next couple of teams on the ladder, the Perth Scorchers, the Adelaide Strikers and the Brisbane Heat, all on 20 points, and then the Hobart Hurricanes on 19 points. The Heat are in 5th position. Do you think they can maintain that and actually make the finals?
Yeah, I reckon they can. I do. I think they can. I think they're just...
After the start they had to the season, here they are now winning matches.
They stunk it up. They really did. And even last night, we had our heart in our mouth. They should have just been dawdling over the Renegades. They were completely in charge. The Renegades dropping Lynn 3 times. Well, got him out off a no ball, and then effectively having him out 3 times, and then missing out. But then they lost 4 wickets at the end. So I'm not sure I can trust the Heat, but they're in with a knockout chance. They make me so nervous. Even when things are going well for them, you know there's going to be a twist and a turn, and they're going to feel some pressure, and they certainly did last night. But they put pay to the Renegades season. That's certainly what they were able to do.
Who's the best team, but let me rephrase that. Who's the most informed team right now?
Well, that title, I think, goes to the Sixers. But having said that, they've won 3 out of their last 5. The team that's won 5 out of 5, that's the Perth Scorchers. Yeah. They're absolutely flying, and they've got their settled lineup. Hiccup there, though. Colin Munro, he missed last game. He's got a quad injury. That may take a few weeks. So he might be touch and go for the final series. And Mitch Marsh, of course, the big injury, the side. He absolutely will not be bowling. But if he comes back and bats, it's going to add some value. But I think it still will be restricting him to really cut loose and unleash and open the shoulders and be able to launch the ball around, which is what he's so good at. So a couple of injury concerns there, but their bowling attack have really got it going now. They've stuck with them through the whole tournament. We're talking about Andrew Tye, Berendorf, and Jai Richardson. Jai Richardson's right at the pointy end of wicket takers in the competition, and he's in top form at the moment. Add to that Fawad Ahmed, and he's a smart spinner as well. They've got it all happening. And one of my favourites at the moment in state cricket and Big Bash cricket, Aaron Hardy. I reckon he's an absolute star. Now, after this test match, you know who slides back into that into that Perth Scorchers team? Cameron Green.
Oh, of course.
Cameron Green comes back in, so you don't reckon that strengthens them up. That will strengthen them up. So the Sixers and Scorchers, for me, that they get some serious firepower back in. So they will only get stronger, and they're the form team.
I was going to ask you, who have they got to come back in? They've got bowlers upon bowlers to come in if they lose one of those, or if they want to replace the Mitch Marsh bowling aspect with a fast. That's fine. But the batsmen, they got Cam Bancroft in there, who's been okay recently in Big Bash. But yeah, Cam Green coming in. That's going to be, well, if you want your all-rounder to replace Mitch Marsh, there you go.
There you go. And then Marsh can just play that type of cameo role. But I think Adam Voges just at the moment might have the thumb in the braces and just going, yep, we're looking pretty good at the moment. And he would have a lot of confidence. Earlier in the Big Bash, there was calls for his head. Would you believe? Doesn't it turn around so quickly? It is a long season. It's a big tournament, and it does take a few months to get through, and the Scorchers have certainly found their mojo.
The Melbourne Stars tonight, a bit of news during the week out of the Melbourne Stars that Ben Dunk, by mutual agreement, has been released from his contract effective immediately. So that last game a few nights ago against the Adelaide Strikers was his last appearance in the squad. Departed immediately, said that he's going to look for opportunities elsewhere. What does that mean, I guess, for Ben Dunk at this stage of at least his 2020 career?
Well, it means that he'll be going around the world. He performed exceptionally well. He has done in the Caribbean Premier League, in the Pakistan Premier League as well. So, look, he will get opportunities around the world because he is a dangerous player. But I guess the relationship between the Stars, it just hasn't hit it off. He signed a long-term contract when he was at the absolute peak of his powers. Don't forget, he was a leading run scorer twice in the Big Bash over the journey. So he was a much sought-after player, and the Stars really wanted him, and they gave him 5 years. Now, that's a different coaching regime and a different leadership regime now in charge of the Stars, and I think inheriting a longer contract, there's another year to go on that contract. I think they both came to the conclusion that maybe for you to find other opportunities because maybe his time here was up.
The Melbourne Stars have been a little wishy-washy with how they've placed their team together, I guess, in terms of the order of the batting lineup. Do you reckon is tonight's the closest that you think is the closest to the best, or is there still? Would you like to see Hilton Cartwright batting up the order, or is number 6 good for him? Is Nick Larkin, is his spot in the team? Is he a valuable contributor at number 3? Andre Fletcher opening the batting has been underwhelming to say the least this season. His top score is only 18. I think after that it's 15, and then nothing else over 12 runs in I think the 7 games that he's played. I don't know. Is this team the best team, or will we not find out what the best 11 is for the Melbourne Stars at all this season? Yeah,
I guess they had a real boost in the middle with Nicholas Poran, who came into the lineup, and we saw him. He just took it down one night. He was absolutely superb, and we know that he's been touted as the next Brian Lara of West Indian cricket, and we got to see why. He's a power bat for a little fella, really whippy, quick hands, and was exceptional. So I think probably their best lineup has him in it. So I think they're probably missing out a little bit there. But this is as good as it's going to be now. They've got 5 games. This is their lineup. Look, you'd hope this is where it is. Nathan Coulter-Nile would be a player that would come back in and give you middle order firepower hitting, and that might mean that one of the batters might miss out. Hilton Cartwright can slide up the order a little bit in that respect. So, but their bowling attack, look, it's as good as they come, really, led by Adam Zampa, the leg spinner. He's been absolutely superb. So I'm really looking forward to seeing him bowl here tonight at the MCG.
Even though the Adelaide Strikers won the toss and have chosen to bowl first with the conditions that are around, and again I look up and the clouds are just separated a little bit more, so a bit more hope fills the heart now that the rain will stay away with more blue skies appearing to us. But is this the best opportunity now for the Melbourne Stars? As you said, haven't won many games in their last run. I think they've won 1 out of their last 6 games at the Melbourne Stars, so they're in a real down patch at the moment. Is this their best chance to get a win on the board with this weakened Adelaide team? Rashid Khan and Peter Siddle were their best bowlers up to now in the season. Both of them out. Khan is on international duty with Afghanistan. Peter Siddle still recovering from that thumb injury. This, in theory, should be the Melbourne Stars' best opportunity to really attack and go aggressive at the Adelaide Strikers bowling attack.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. And I agree that I think tonight they'll be looking to really attack Liam O'Connell, which is probably a little unfortunate for him, but it's probably got to do... he would expect it as well. They're looking to really target Liam O'Connor. Sorry, I said that wrong. But look, he's a really capable leggy. He's done it before in Big Bash cricket. He can take some wickets, but they would be looking to attack there. Danny Briggs, he's the leading wicket taker in T20 cricket in England, so he's one to watch. And Daniel Worrell's been very good at the top of the order. Cam Valentine, he may be bowling in that middle part as well, so he'll have some responsibility. But, well, we'll just have to wait and see. They'll be able to present that up now. The strikers are out. The cheers are for the Melbourne Stars as they walk out. Yeah, the Adelaide strikers came out onto the MCG to not much fanfare from the home Melbourne crowd, but out come Andre Fletcher and Marcus Stoinis from the race, and they are slowly making their way to the middle of the MCG. 0433 98 11 16 off the text for Big Bash Nation's text line. Howdy, guys. First sporting event in 12 months with the kids, and first timers, they've been to the G. They're a bit Big Kev excited, says Lee off the text. Cooking fish we caught on a barbecue in Echuca on holidays with the kids. Loving the SEN app from Matt, the bus driver. Thank you, Matt. That's a great way to listen to the cricket. Isn't it just? That's Let amazing. Us know how you're getting on with that. Yeah. Bryce, were you playing the night that Dwayne Bravo won the T20 game for Victoria in 2010? One of the great wins, asks Brett. It was an incredible win. I wasn't playing. I was sitting on one of the plastic garden chairs we were actually on the oval at that stage. You might remember that. And it was freezing cold when Dwayne Bravo went bananas at the end, and we were all wrapped in towels. Dirk Nannis was next in. We lost a lot of wickets to Victorians, and boy, he just lit it up. That was an amazing game. Absolutely amazing. Yeah. And a huge crowd here as well, and really showed that, the Melbourne public loved the fact that T20 cricket, even at a domestic level, was here at the MCG. So both sides are out in the middle now. Andre Fletcher has taken up his position at the striker's end. Pyrotechnics around the ground. Had a bit of heat on that. It's going to be Cam Valenti to bowl the first ball of this match from the Great Southern Stand end. To wait for this game to get underway. The Adelaide strikers won the bat flip and chose to bowl first, so the Melbourne Stars out in the middle. And the Melbourne Stars choosing to take a knee before the start of the match, as do the umpires. The Adelaide strikers standing with hands folded behind their backs. And everyone on their knee rises, and now we get ready for the first ball to be bowled in the Melbourne leg of the hubbed BBL 10 season. Andre Fletcher on strike, and it's going to be Valenti from the Great Southern Stand end, bowling right arm over the wicket to Fletcher facing. This one is going to be cut behind points. It's a fine shot. It's down to the man on the rope at third man. A finessed shot first up from Andre Fletcher to get a run on the board, and the Melbourne Stars are off and away. It was cut away, a full ball that was cut away. Jab down to third man. The fielder's out, deep forward square leg and a deep third man. Same field for Stoinis, so no change. There's a slip in place as well. The rain has stayed away now for a couple of hours, so that is positive signs weather-wise. There's a coolish breeze rolling around the MCG and no sunshine at the moment, so it's perfect playing conditions. No player out there will be feeling the heat in any way. Andre Fletcher has a brief words to Marcus Stoinis, who's scratching out his guard. I think it was just down for the glove tap. Yeah. Down to do that. They've checked in with each other. Good luck, Stoiny. Sam Nagaiski and Sean Craig, our umpires tonight. Valenti's bowling, and this one is played into points. Good stop at point. They'll get through for a single. And Stoinis is now off the mark with one. Yeah, good fielding there. Weatherall's really good at that backward point, gully regions. Good diver. Saves a lot of runs in that region. There's a slip in place. There's a gully in there. Valenti is in. This one is spattered back down the wicket. They call for weight, and then they take the single as the mid-off and mid-on converge to do the fielding. So 3 singles to start the over here for the Melbourne Stars. A patient beginning. Andre Fletcher will be hoping to put on a big score. Hasn't had a score depart the teens this season. Hasn't got above 18. That's his highest score for the West Indian import from Grenada.
Valenti rounding his mark. Coming in, right arm over the wicket to Stoinis on strike. And that one is played with a flat bat into the leg side. They take a run. There was a great throw coming in from mid-on, which was a direct hit, but Stoinis was back safe. And it was Matt Renshaw who did the fielding. That was pretty swift stuff from Renshaw. Took it in his stride and with a diving effort hit the stumps at the bowler's end.
Yeah, surprisingly, he's right back on the ring at mid-on. Maybe they will try and take it on over the top, but there's a big gap there. There's only inside the ring. It's just a short, fine leg in the mid-on.
Singles are plenty here to start. This one's going to be a dot ball as Fletcher hits it back to the bowler. So none for 4 with the ball to come here in this over at the MCG. Big Bash Nation.
Now, what about the way Fletcher started with the no-look 6? There, he just had his eyes down on the pitch and just flicked it up over square leg. We thought we had something special and hasn't quite lived up to that since then. Has in the field. His fielding's been dynamic.
Last ball of the first over. Fletcher's aired it out over point. That'll run down to the rope. He's had a look over his shoulder. It's just pulling up before the rope, but still carries through with 2 fielders pursuing. Out on the offside, Andre Fletcher gets the first boundary of the night. Don't let your luck run out, TAC. That's the end of the first over. It is none for 8.
Visit your local Dulux Trade Centre or Inspirations Paint Store for all your professional painting needs. With over 230 locations around Australia, you can be confident we have the right tools to help you get the job done. Our trade stores have all the commercial paint and accessories you'll need, as well as the best expert trade staff who are on hand to give great advice and quick service. When it comes to your next paint job, head to your local Dulux Trade Centre or Inspirations Paint Store.
Big Bash Nation, Jordan Canellis and Bryce McGain with you from the MCG. Bryce, our expert for Western Union. Another fast delivery by Western Union. Send money overseas with their app. And Dan Worrell has been given the ball from the members' ends for the Adelaide Strikers, who won the toss and elected to bowl first. If you're just catching up, stumps on day number 1 at the Gabba. It's Australia 5 for 274. Marnus Labuschagne, the star of the day, with his knock of 108. Cam Green 28 and Tim Payne 38 will resume in the morning from the second day in Brisbane. And you can hear all the coverage on SEN Test Cricket. Second over about to begin. Dan Worrell still having that slip in place. 3 fielders in front of the batsman's eye line when he looks out at points.
Well, the way he's been swinging, you just about need 3 slips in place against his old team, Dan Worrell.
He steams in, right arm over to Stoinis, who's leaving that one. Shoulders arms to that as it swings through to Alex Carey.
There was swing as well. Good outswing. Late movement again. Dan Worrell's been superb with a new ball. And they generally want to bowl him for the full tilt up front. 4 overs up front while that ball is new and that he can swing it. Very skilled bowler. Angled run up and approach.
Yeah.
And I think really what that is because his front foot flays out a little bit. So when he gets to the crease, it flays out, but it's then in line with where he wants to bowl the ball. If he went in straight, that front foot would be out.
Worrell is in again. Stoinis this time trying to cut that one behind point, but it's stopped. That's almost fly slip position by Valenti for a dot.
Went to that short third man. So they've got the slip, the short third man, the backward point, and then the sweeper is out at deep point or even deep backward point. So they're really protecting that area with the outswing. Big gap on the onside, of course. That's where they want him to hit the ball across the line through the mid-wicket region. Sweeper on leg side. On that angled run-up, Worrell comes in, puts it on the pads this time, and Stoinis just gets a bat behind it, drops it into the offside for a dot ball. Been a superb over so far from Dan Worrell. Hasn't given up a run yet through 3 balls. Fletcher's on 6, Marcus Stoinis on 2. Melbourne Stars none for 8 after 1.3 overs so far. Light towers are on. They burst into life before the start of this match. Worrell in again. Stoinis looking to hit this one. He hits it. Hits it straight back to the bowler on the bounce. Into the hands of Dan Worrell, who did pretty well to take that. And that was coming back fast as well. Yeah, he got every bit of that. You could hear in the effects mic. Crunched right in the middle of the bat. Still a bit of late movement away. It's been really good bowling. He's been able to get a lot of movement and probably been a little unlucky in the Big Bash so far. Just getting single-digit and 2 wickets at a time. Been steady, no big bag. The slip comes out now. Maybe that slip, the swing has just died down a little bit. Mid-wicket in place.
Worrell in, past the umpire, and again it's another dot as Stoinis defends into the offside. Could have a maiden over here. Haven't had too many of them in BBL 10. Scott Boland had 1 or 2 earlier in the season, but it's a rare thing in 2020 cricket, a maiden over.
Could be a Macca's moment.
Could be.
A maiden early on. That one just coming back in. Bit of an off-cutter there.
In the power play, of course, second over in. Tyre Power, your trusted tyre experts. Final ball for Dan Worrell. He's in. Stoinis wanting to score runs, and he does. He cuts it through points and will just get the single into the sweeper on the rope on the offside in John O'Wells. So that ends the over. Just the 1 run from it. Superb over from Dan Worrell for the Adelaide Strikers. After 2 overs, it's none for 9.
Hi, it's Doug the tradie. If you're a tradie like me, you need the correct insurance. It's easy with IMAR. They offer competitive premiums, instant cover and no paperwork. Go online, get an instant quote and pay the premium, or call an expert now on 13IMAR. You'll be covered in a few simple steps and ready to get on with the job. Visit imar.com.au today or call 13IMAR and get a quote, get covered, get working.
They're the tradies, mate. That's IMAR.
Big Bash Nation, it is the Stars against the Strikers. The Stars batting first, sent into bat by the Adelaide Strikers, who won the bat flip. And they've started well bowling-wise on a... It's a little bit chilly. I wouldn't say it's frosty, but it's a cool MCG tonight. And the Strikers have got Wes Agar bowling his first over now from the Great Southern Stand end. Into Marcus Stoinis, right arm over, and Stoinis is pulling this one behind square leg. It'll run down to the rope. Will Wells get there? He does. Puts in a good effort sliding in, and they come back for 2. And that's the real first shot of aggression into the leg side for Marcus Stoinis this evening. He's up to 5. Fletcher's on 6.
And that just hurried up Stoinis a bit, Agar, and that's what he's been doing, hitting a really hard length. That's all he's trying to do, not too many tricks. Just hit the seam and bowl well. He's taken a big bag of wickets this BBL.
No slip. Agar is bowling, comes off the face of the bat and slides into that backward point. A dot ball for Agar. He's got the high knees as he comes in, Wes Agar. It's a very, very purposeful lead into his bowling action. None for 11, the score.
We talk about the wickets. He's taken 17 for the tournament. Puts him in 3rd place. Mark Stickety, after a good performance last night. A few more wickets for him, a couple of wickets. He's joined with Jai Richardson at the top on 18.
Agar to Stoinis, who has a big swing and a miss through to the wicketkeeper, Alex Carey. 17 wickets for Wes Agar is his highest, equal highest return, same as last season. So he has the ability, with still a handful of games left, to get his season high of wickets taken in the Big Bash, Wes Agar. And I'm sure he'll have many opportunities more in the future. At just 23 years of age at the moment, Wes Agar.
Which is finding his game now, what he does well. This is what you do well. You hit the wicket hard, and you make it difficult for batsmen. He's bowling beautifully.
Agar is in. Stoinis off the face of the bat to cut into point. They'll take the run, and Fletcher has to stumble into his ground at the striker's end as the throw came in from the offside. And they get back just in time. The throw was a little wayward, went a couple of feet behind the stumps at the striker's end, so they get the single safely.
Yeah, just the one stump to aim at from point. But I reckon he might have been short. How do you got it? It was Gibson the fielder. He threw. Yeah, touch and go, but he was slow to respond. Fletcher's
facing now. Agar bowling a little short of that time. Really bashed it into the pitch, as he is known to do. Where's Agar? And Fletcher can just glance it into the leg side for a dot.
Just no room to free his arms up. We know he's so dangerous, particularly width outside the off stump. He will flay that over. We saw that in the first over. Valente getting picked up for the first and only boundary of this innings, but flayed away over backward point. But in tight there, that's his kryptonite and has been all tournament.
This pair struggling to find the rope so far in the power play for Tyre Power. Summer scorches sail. Now they will, as Fletcher Smashes that one back past the bowler, over his head, a couple of bounces down to the rope. Straight down into the ground with the backdrop of the Great Southern Stand behind that white ball flying through the air. A boundary for the TAC. Don't let your luck run out, TAC.
Last ball 4.
Fletcher's on 10, Stoinis is on 6, and after 3, it's none for 16.
Red Energy is 100% owned by the mighty Snowy Hydro, and that makes us as Aussie as a barbie at Eastern Beach. We're based right here in Victoria and have been providing electricity and gas to tens of thousands of homes in Geelong for years. So if you want an energy company that's 100% Australian owned, supports Aussie jobs and is committed to supporting the economy, call our Victorian-based contact centre on 131 806 to make the switch today.
None for 16, the score after 3 overs in this power play for Tyre Power. Know your tyres. Bryce McGain is our expert for Western Union. Another fast delivery by Western Union. Send money overseas with their app. Analysing tonight's match, game number 40. The Stars and the Strikers. With Marcus Stoinis facing Dan Worrell, and he's gone airborne this time. Stoinis glancing into the leg side. It'll drop a few yards short of the rope, and they'll run too, as scurrying around is Phil Salt on the leg side to haul it in before the rope approaches. A double for Marcus Stoinis.
Aggressive shot there on the up. Picking it up over the leg side. Good fielding out there by Phil Salt. Good moving in AFL terms from one pocket to the other. Very mobile forward. Wouldn't be his game AFL. He'd be good with the round ball though.
Oh yeah. Dan Worrell, right arm over to Stoinis again, who's showing the full face of the bat into cover and finds the fielder no run. Marcus Stoinis became the 5th player to pass the 2,000 run mark in the Big Bash this season a few games ago. Or last game it would have been. 2,018 runs he has to his name. Joining Glenn Maxwell to do the same achievement this season. John O'Wells could join them tonight as well. He's only 6 runs shy. Stoinis trying to pull that into the leg side. Didn't quite get the full connection, and it dribbles through to mid-wicket for another dot ball.
Yeah, difficult length there. Again, that's where he's been so impeccable. That bail height length. It's hard to go forward, and that one he's tried to pull and go back, but it's skidded through as well. 136 by Dan Worrell. He's not express, but he's quick enough. He can really slip the ball on. That one hit high on the bat.
Short third man backward points and a cover on the offside, plus the deep point. Short delivery from Worrell. That's going to be a wide. Went straight over Marcus Stoinis, who ducked a little underneath it. Alex Carey did well at full strength, at full stretch, to take it over his left shoulder.
A big effort ball, a big bumper, and responsive wicket. There is a bounce in the wicket.
Yeah.
Probably the length that he used to bowl at the MCG to get a bumper up around chest height, but that one has taken off.
That trampolined up over Stoinis.
Some good pace in this wicket too.
Worrell is in again, right arm over. Just waits on it a little bit, Stoinis. Couldn't cut it between the fielders at short third man and backward point. Stopped by the backward point fielder. And Jake Weatherall, stop ball. So he's conceded the 3 runs so far this over, Dan Worrell, and none for 4 his figures with 2 balls to come here. Stoinis waiting at the striker's ends. Worrell is in. That's gone over the stumps, and it's missed by Alex Carey, diving away to his left, and that'll roll down for 4 byes.
4 byes. It's seamed back and just missed the leg stump. So close to the leg stump, and away it went and just died. We're talking about the pace and bounce in the wicket. That one seamed back and just died away. Probably swung afterwards as well. It did. It moved after it passed the stumps on the way to Carey. He's just missed it.
It went right over the top of the bails. Last ball here. Worrell bowling. Stoinis this time making connection, but again slicing it on the bounce to the backward point fielder, Jake Weatherall. So that overdone. The Tyre Power power play comes to an end. Your trusted tyre experts, and it is none for 23.
Real adventures with Patrick Dangerfield and Aaron Hapgood. Everything fishing, boating and outdoors.
I'm just astonished how many people are still using the wrong burley cages, Pat. You need to get your cages down to the bottom for the whiting. Look at the design of a whiting's face. They're shaped so their mouth turns in underneath their jaw and they feed hard on the bottom. So where are they going to be? They're going to be on the bottom.
Patrick Dangerfield and Aaron Hapgood. Subscribe and listen today wherever you get your podcasts.
8177 were the number of runs off the overs from the first 4 overs. All the stats for Dulux. Professional painters choose Dulux. Start of the 5th over, and Valenti is bowling to Fletcher, who's bouncing it over the fielder at points. They'll get one. Fletcher's adamant for 2. He sprints back and he gets it.
Good running.
Very good running from Andre Fletcher. Got the kind bounce over the fielder. Just cleared him by about a foot over his head on the jump. And so into the space on the offside, and that gave them enough time for the 2 runs. Fletcher's up to 12, Stoinis on 8. None for 25 as Valenti's in again. This time Fletcher a bit more finessed as he prods it into the offside through covers and gets a single.
Doesn't the pressure come off when they're able to spread the field and suddenly they can keep rotating the strike? It goes into a different phase now. A little earlier, the power play only 4 overs. And they can work the ball now. They'll be looking for a boundary and over, and it's possible here at the MCG. It's such vacant area in the outfield.
Valenti in his first Big Bash game this season, bowling to Stoinis, who clips it down to mid-on with the fielders coming in a long way off the rope. They'll just take the 1. You reckon it actually benefits teams when the power play ends, the first 4 overs?
In some respects, yes, I do. The ball's still hard, so they can hit over cover and attack the boundary. And this is why the strikers have got a short, fine leg. They're onside field, short, fine leg, and they're protecting the boundary. Deep backward, deep mid-wicket, deep long on that onside.
Valenti to Fletcher, who opens it up. He's aired it out. There's a fielder out there, but it's just scooted past him. A bounce and through for 4. Andre Fletcher. It was in the air a long time, and Phil Soltz on the offside rope actually gave up. He saw that one flying right past him. Even though it wasn't that far away, it had that much pace on it. Hit the boundary with great speed. Andre Fletcher gets a boundary for the TAC. Don't let your luck run out, TAC. He's up to 17. Valenti's bowling. And Fletcher this time delicately down to the short third man, gets a single. And that puts him on his equal high now for this BBL 10 season. 18 runs. Andre Fletcher, the opener.
And this is exactly how to do it. Look for the boundary and try and do it early in the over, and then just work the ball in. 1s, 2s, there's 8, 9 and over. And that's how to play at the MCG. Big, vast playing surface. If you can attack it straight, you hit 6s and 4s, that's good, but that is protected as well.
Valenti's into Stoinis. It squirts off the front of his bat. Didn't really get it where he wanted it to go. Drops into cover, and that's a dot to finish the over for Cam Valenti, who has figures of none for 17. Fletcher's on 18, Stoinis on 9 after 5 overs. It's none for 32.
Red Energy is 100% owned by the mighty Snowy Hydro, and that makes us as Aussie as a barbie at Eastern Beach. We're based right here in Victoria and have been providing electricity and gas to tens of thousands of homes in Geelong for years. So if you want an energy company that's 100% Australian owned, supports Aussie jobs and is committed to supporting the economy, call our Victorian-based contact centre on 131 806 to make the switch today.
Big Bash Nation from the MCG. 0433 98 11 16 if you want to send us a message on the Big Bash Nation text line. Andre Fletcher will face the first delivery of this new over from Liam O'Connor, who is coming in to replace the leg spin option of Rashid Khan, the leg spinner himself from WA, Liam O'Connor. So they maintain their quota of 2 spinners in the lineup, the Adelaide Strikers, and O'Connor is going to bowl here to Fletcher from the members' ends. He's in. Fletcher is cutting that one into point to start off with a dot.
Yeah, trying to cut a very full delivery there. Just missed the length. That one's skidding through a bit. Played it okay, but to play square of the wicket with such a full ball is a bit dangerous.
2 on the rope on the offside, 3 on the leg side. Fletcher clips that down to long on, and he gets a single, which takes him to 19 now. And that is his highest score this season in the BBL.
Exactly the same field they had set protecting sweeper at the offside. Long off, long on, deep mid-wicket and deep backward square leg. 2 behind point inside the circle.
Stoinis on strike now to O'Connor. Stoinis wanting to attack that one. Had a big swing. Just clipped it off the toe of the bat. Bounces a couple of times into long on again for another single. 15,000 is the capacity for the crowd at the MCG for all these games in the run home of the BBL 10 season. O'Connor bowling. Fletcher's down a long way out of his crease. Played that flat bat into the offside for a dot ball. Got to make sure you make connection on those ones.
Well bowled, saw him coming, slid it out wide, quicker, flatter, tried to get it past him.
O'Connor again, leg spin over the wicket. Fletcher dabs it back past the diving O'Connor. And down to long off for a single. And taking this over carefully, the Melbourne Stars.
I think the umpires might have a word to the strikers as they throw the ball back in and land it on the pitch repeatedly.
O'Connor's in. Stoinis slashing that one, slapping it into the offside.
Good over.
Gets a single. And just the 4 runs in the end off that over from O'Connor. Fletcher's on 20, Stoinis on 11. It is none for 36.
Visit your local Dulux Trade Centre or Inspirations Paint Store for all your professional painting needs. With over 230 locations around Australia, you can be confident we have the right tools to help you get the job done. Our trade stores have all the commercial paint and accessories you'll need, as well as the best expert trade staff who are on hand to give great advice and quick service. When it comes to your next paint job, head to your local Dulux Trade Centre or Inspirations Paint Store.
And now spin from the other end, from the Great Southern Stand side of the ground. It'll be Danny Briggs to bowl. The Englishman who's come in and played the 10 games so far. Slow left-arm orthodox bowler. Highest wicket taker in the T20 Blast, the 2020 competition in England. So spinning from both sides of the ground now, the Adelaide Strikers. Melbourne Stars are number 36. Briggs bowling to Stoinis. That one's down the leg side. It's come off the top edge of the bat. And they'll get through for a single as short fine leg came up in Wes Agar. It looped up.
Yeah, it signalled leg by, so it was just all tangled up as it hit him on the thigh and the arms came around, maybe dragged around with a forearm as well.
Fletcher pulls out of that one.
Briggs a bit sneaky there. As Fletcher was tapping his bat down, he was on his way in. The El Sneeko.
Trying to rattle the batsman. Fletcher looking to wind up, but he drags it into the leg side for a single down to long on.
Well, Fletcher wants to go over cover here. That's what he's looking for, and I think Briggs knows it, and he's tightening it right up on him. In tight. Now, it is a long boundary to the leg side, a very long boundary.
So is he trying to open himself up to that offside?
Yeah, he's trying to go over cover. That's what he wants to find, but Briggs won't let him.
Stoinis facing. He's slapped that one into the covers. And that's a good stop by Weatherald at extra cover. Dot ball. Alex Carey came down mid-pitch and had a chat to Briggs before that last ball. Now he's bowling to Stoinis, who gets it through the air, but gets it through the covers. And it won't beat the fielder in Phil Saltz, who sprinted around on the rope to stop it. But they run 2. It's a good shot.
Yeah, that's the area they want to attack here. With this type of field, they'll back themselves to hit it over cover. And Briggs is aware of that. Good fielding out there. And it's the fastest part of the ground because all the tractors and rollers go down that way.
It's been left by Stoinis that time, outside off stump from Briggs. I think it's a little wide as well. Yep, that's a wide. Outside the blue lines. So Briggs will do it again. Left arm around to Stoinis. That's a full toss. It's slapped back down the ground, and it's caught on the rope. Caught by Worrell. Pardon me, Bryce. Caught by Worrell, and Stoinis will have to depart.
Well, he's standing there because he's suggesting that it was above waist high. So the umpires are referring this, so there will be a decision by the third umpire. He is certain that it's above waist high. The catchers down there, they're all high-fiving. The job is done, according to the strikers, but it's way above his waist.
Yeah, the replay for Rapid Tune will keep you moving. That was above the waist.
Yep. So they'll have to determine that is a no ball. It doesn't matter if it's a spinner or a fast bowler nowadays. They've just clarified it that it is, in actual fact, a no ball, regardless of whether it's dangerous or not, determined dangerous. The dangerous ploy comes in. I think they've given him out.
Oh, he's walking off. Michael Graham-Smith is the third umpire, and Marcus Stoinis has been sent on his way. So
if they're checking it, they've checked it. Now, we're not privy to what has been said, and in terms of the third umpire, we don't get to hear that, but because it's not broadcast at the ground. But that's clearly above waist high. They've even gone and checked it.
Yeah, and I don't know. Was the only point of ambiguity, I suppose, was that he had bent his knees a little bit in the process of the shot.
Well, it's in the normal batting stance. That's quite extraordinary.
Yeah, I'm a little confused too. It's a wicket. It's 13 runs off 26 balls from Marcus Stoinis, which is very under par for him. And it's a wicket for Scott Pack. Turn unpaid invoices into cash. scottpack.com.au. So Court Worrell bowled